change the century, trying to find out for me a time to adapt. They try to control us with their lies and their schemes, but I'm a rise above, fulfill my wildest dreams. The beats be bang, the rhymes be tight, trap rap flowing through the darkest night. But don't mistake me for the sellouts on the screen. I'm spitting truth, we can question what you've seen. Mind over me, I'll break free from the mold. Trap rap revolution, we taking control. No one more puppet strings, we standing tall. With every word I speak, I'll make them all fall.
Violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. But so far, it appears he's doing well. Number one. Number two, that there's thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to them tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do, okay?
Mr. President, do you think there was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried about your own safety? Was the security failing, Mr. President?
Okay, so we missed the very beginning of those remarks. I want to play those back. Here's Biden speaking just moments ago from the top.
Thanks for coming, folks. I've been thoroughly briefed by all the agencies in the federal government as to the situation, based on what we know now. I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to him shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have engaged in making sure that we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is, the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. But so far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that there's thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to them tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do. Okay?
Mr. President, do you think there was an assassination attempt?
Well, dude.
I don't know enough. I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts.
Love the mainstream
I want
media.
to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried about your own safety? Was the security failing?
All right, so breaking news. This just came in about 6 p.m. tonight here on the East Coast. There has been an assassination attempt on former President Trump at a PA rally. More information is coming through. They got the shooter that has been eliminated through Secret Service via a sniper team. I want to. I know these are very difficult because it's politics, and a lot of people are just not going to get into these type of situations. But I am a media company, and this is very, very important news in American history today. And look at, the way that I want to just make sure that I come across in looking at this. I was curious. I wanted to, obviously, this is big news. I wanted to report it here on the channel and go through some of the things that happened. But I want to make sure that people understand, no matter what political side you are on, this is really bad for America. Bottom line is, it's very, very bad. And you had an innocent civilian that's being reported that was deceased today as well in the skirmish. All this, every president and every candidate in this country should have the right to have a rally and have their right to run for president. And no matter what political side you're on, I wouldn't want to see this happen to Biden, and I don't want to see it happen to Trump. That's how I look at the situation. This is free speech. These are people that are trying to, wage through this political spectrum, get to November and have a vote and let the country decide who they want to be president. This is a very sad day in America right now. I wouldn't want to see this on any political side. It's bad. And now you have to start thinking, is this going to be the only attempt? Is there going to be more attempts? Is someone going to try to do this to our president now? It's just not good overall. And I know people will not touch stuff like this because it is politics, but I was just curious by nature and wanted to come on and see, what was happening. So I know that this is going to rile up a lot of people in the chat room. My stance on this is that it's just a sad day for America overall. This should not happen. It shouldn't happen to Biden. It shouldn't happen to Trump. It shouldn't happen to anybody that is in our political spectrum. I mean, nothing is worth doing something like this to anybody. I mean, I wouldn't wish this upon my worst enemy. It's not good. It's sad. It's actually a really sad day in America. So let's turn up some volume. We'll hang with this for a little bit and see what the mainstream media is talking about here.
There. So it could have been a little bit further standoff than, say, using a small arm like a pistol. We will.
The thing that's really crazy about it, and I have to say, is that where's the security? This looks like it was a side attempt. Why were there not bulletproof barriers up at that point? So this is going to have to be really, really investigated. And, this is, if you thought politics were crazy now, wait until November. It's going to be insane. But, again, I get it. There's a lot of people that are starting to come into the room. I would not. This is just a bad day for politics overall. I wouldn't wish this on Biden. I don't want to wish it on Trump. I don't want to wish it on anybody on either political side. Everybody has the right to run for an office and run for a political position. And if they can raise the money to support their campaign, they have every right to be in that. This is not the way that you win elections. Bottom line, it's not the way you win elections. If you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent, it's not the way to win an election. The way to win an election is to vote. And this is a very, very sad day in America. All right, let's hear here. Listen
second
here.
by second timeline of how this all unfolded. According to the Associated Press, it took 2 minutes from the moment of the first shot for Trump to be placed in a waiting SUV. As Trump was talking, a popping sound was heard. You're watching the video now. The former president put his right hand up to his right ear as people in the stands behind him appeared to be shocked there. Also, someone could be heard saying near the microphone at Trump's lectern, "Get down, get down, get down, get down," as agents tackled the former president. They piled atop him to shield him with their bodies, as is their training protocol, as other agents took up positions on stage to search for the.
I mean, the scary thing about it, too, is you have all those people that are behind him. Thank God no one more people got injured. And there's been a report that apparently someone has been shot and killed because of this. Let's go to the actual video, and then I'll go back to the news, and maybe we'll pull some Twitter up and see what's going on. Again, I just wanted to jump on and just speak a little bit about this. This is not the way to win elections. I want each candidate to go into their respective days of voting and have the American people vote who they want president. And this is not the way to do it. Right now we need to all unite as Americans on both sides, because this is, again, it's just a very sad day in America right now. All right, let's take a look at what actually happened. This is crazy.
And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Wow. Very, very lucky. And more shots going off there.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move. Up. Move. Go.
Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here. Move to the spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
We ready? Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Shooters down.
Let's go.
So I'm guessing probably the single shot. The single shot we probably heard was the shooter being deceased. That's what I'm probably guessing, and we may not ever get that information. But I'm probably guessing the multiple shots were from the shooter, and then we heard that one lone or 1-2 shots at the end, and you hear the Secret Service there confirm shooter is down. So I'm probably guessing that one shot that we heard was probably from Secret Service. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be talked about probably all the way up until the rally now. I mean, until the election. Is Mad from Mazdas. I'm interested in finding out where the actual shooter was. Apparently, what's being reported, and I can't confirm right now, it was somewhere up on a rooftop that was nearby. All right, let's go back a little bit here and actually watch what happened. Let's see. Let's hear the shots again. Let's hear the shots again. You hear about 7 or 8 shots, then you hear 1 or 2 single shots that are about 20 to 30 seconds after this. So I'm probably guessing that's Secret Service taking down the actual shooter.
Something that said, take a look at what.
But real quick, this is where this has to be really scrutinized now, because where was the breach in security? This is bad. And I wouldn't want this for Biden. I don't want it for Trump. This has to be absolutely secure for all of these candidates that are involved in wanting to be president. It looks like it was a sideways shot. So why were there not bulletproof screens up? I'll be curious to know that. And where is security? How did this person get in? And it's scary because now this could happen on the other political side. Someone might try to do something else, or someone might try to do this again. So again, it's very, very, very scary. And this is not how you win elections, people. You want to talk all the garbage back and forth. You want to, come after someone politically and get people politically charged up. But this is not the way to win an election. It cannot happen, Republican or Democrat. It cannot happen. All right, let's watch this again.
What happened?
God, he's lucky. There's your shot. So you heard the rapid succession fire. You heard about 7 or 10 shots. You had about a 20-second pause, and then you hear the one single shot. I'm going to guarantee you that's Secret Service taking down the shooter, and they're actually going to confirm it and say shooter is down. So he's back on?
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready, on you. Ready. Move. Up.
No, that was
Move.
earlier.
Go. Hawkeye's here. Hawkeye's here. Move to spare. Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
So I'm probably going to thinking, I mean, my days of handling firearms when I used to live up north, it probably was a very small caliber gun, rifle. I'm going to probably guess a 22 because 22 range, I mean, they can range up to a mile. So it's definitely a small caliber. 22 will do a lot of damage. And then the graze on the ear, he's very lucky. Very, very lucky. Wow. Someone was looking over him.
Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move? Let's move. We're clear.
Yeah, I mean, Katie, listen, Kitty, I mean, people, have their political sides and they may not like someone, but this is not the way that you win elections.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we gotta move to the class.
And this photo here, the hand raised,
Watch out.
that's a very powerful photo. That is very powerful. Wow. Yeah, I mean, see, we even have someone from the other side. Daniel says, I can't stand Biden, but I wouldn't want this for for him as well. I wouldn't, I wouldn't either. I don't want this on any candidates. I mean, this is scary. Yeah, exactly, Lindsay. This is not how you win elections. It's not how you win elections. Wow. All right, let's go back up to mainstream media and see what's going on. Let's see.
Radar, they're watching them. They'll be doing some sort of evaluation, which will go into whatever the threat condition that they need to, or threat posture, and that's part of a threat assessment process that they have, which is very sophisticated, that they work through. So they do all of these things, and then depending on whatever potential threats are in the area, they will adjust certain things with the rally or the event itself based on whatever they perceive the threat to be. And so I'm assuming all of these things were done accordingly, although this individual may not have been on anybody's radar. As people are becoming more sophisticated with what they do and don't do online, they also know to avoid saying things online that in the past would have tripped them up. So this is someone who probably, obviously they got to where they got in terms of positioning with the weapon and doing what they did. So they abated a number of things where they could have been detected earlier. They're going to be looking closely at that as well.
I want to pull up some more reaction. We're hearing from Vice President Harris, who was also campaigning in Pennsylvania today. She was in Philadelphia. She says she's been briefed on the shooting at former President Trump's event in PA. Doug and I are relieved that he is not seriously injured. We are praying for him, his family, and all of those who have been injured and impacted by this senseless shooting. Hal, we're going to leave it at that for now with you. Thank you for your analysis as we cover this developing situation. We are going to play out once again what we witnessed earlier today, and we watched it live as President Trump was holding a mostly run-of-the-mill campaign rally. He was speaking about border issues at the time that this took place. Wow. Let's play this out. This is what happened earlier.
And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So it had to have come in this way. Wow. That's the single shot that I was talking about.
Hold
Wow, 4 hours from you. Wow.
Move. Go.
Yeah, left to right. That's what I think so too.
We ready?
Yeah, right, Danielle? You felt it.
Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Shooters down. You hear the report there.
Let's move. We're clear. Come on.
Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes.
Hold up. You're ready. Bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus.
Let me get my shoes.
What's up?
Shot over the bleachers. So he shot from this direction. Wow. Yeah, that's terrible. It's an awful. I mean, this is not the way to win elections. I wouldn't wish this on any political candidate. And look at 2 people end up losing their lives today. 2 innocent people that are out there end up losing their lives. Yeah, I agree, Kristen. It's very scary on both sides. It's definitely not how you win elections. Wow.
President
I have a
Trump
video.
being escorted into what's known as the Beast, the presidential vehicle,
And look what happened to our
with his fist raised, that clip looping back there. So we have a guest standing by. We have Marvin Jones. He's a former Secret Service agent. And Marvin, I just want to make sure that we're
Oh,
connected.
I want to
Can you
hear
hear
this.
me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. Thanks for joining us. What do you make of the Secret Service response? I think everyone is clamoring for more information at this time. You have experience protecting the presidents in situations just like this. What do you make of their response?
Well, from the video on the television, the Secret Service did an excellent job of responding. It's difficult to see, but there's a gentleman right of Trump, that an agent that sprung right on top of him almost instantaneously when he grabs his ear and goes down. So I think their response was very good.
So when we talk about an investigation of this magnitude, we hear that a shooter has been killed. We heard that one other spectator in the crowd has been killed. Trump himself has been injured. Where does the Secret Service begin with all this?
Well, the Secret Service is responsible for investigating threats against the President of the United States. And they continue to do that routinely. The public is not aware of how many threats these leaders get, but it's a very large number. What will happen is the FBI has the statutory authority to investigate assassination attempts, and they will be the lead agency on the investigation. But the Secret Service will be there step by step with them, and they'll look into the shooter, his background, and do extreme detail to find out if he had accomplices, if there was a major plot, things like that.
So when we talk about the response and what's going to be coming next, I'm curious, what is the protocol for a campaign rally of this size? We know Trump likes big crowds. We know that there were people not only in the audience behind him, but there were also a good amount of people in front of him as well. What is the challenge with securing events of this nature, Marvin?
Sure, those huge crowds, and particularly with the president, the former President Trump, who likes to be with the crowd, in the crowd, exposed to the crowd, puts a real strain on the security measures taken. If there's a venue that can be secured, of course, everyone that comes into the venue is screened for weapons. There should be, and apparently there was in this case, anti-sniper teams on rooftops surrounding the venue. According to your reports, an anti-sniper team took out the shooter. It's very difficult to control all these people. What you don't see is people coming into the venue that are screened. You don't see agents in plain clothes wandering through the crowd, keeping an eye out for suspicious persons. The closer you get to the president, the more agents there are. And those fellows working and ladies working right around the president are giving up their life to protect him. So they're very brave individuals.
What is happening in the beast, if you will, the
I don't
vehicle
understand.
that Trump was ushered in?
I'm gonna kind of address this. I don't see any hate in the chat. I mean, if you're just coming in, I've said here on my platform that this is not how you win elections, no matter what political side you stand on. This is not how you win an election. You win an election by going to the voting booth and voting for the candidate that you want to run America. And then the result comes out, and then you deal with it for 4 years. If that's not your candidate that you wanted as president and they lose, then you know what? You're just going to have to deal with it for the next 4 years. But this is a very, very sad day in America. I don't see anybody in here saying hate. Where's the hate comments? I think we're all trying to rally together and be Americans at this point. I wouldn't wish this on Joe Biden. I don't want it on Donald Trump. I don't want it on any political candidate. The bottom line is, this is not how you win elections. You win elections by voting. And I wanted to report on this. It's very important. This is a very historic day in America right now. It's a very sad day for Americans, because now you don't know what's going to happen. What is the fallout? And hopefully nothing like this happens to Biden. I don't want to see that happen to Biden. I don't want to see this happen again to Trump. I don't want to see it to any political person that runs our country. But it's a very sad day. And I understand politics get very crazy with people. I completely understand that. But right now, we need to rally together as Americans and for America. Because now this can happen anytime now. People are getting way too crazy over this. Way too crazy. All right, let's listen here. I have a video from a witness that was there. Let's pull this up on X. Let's listen to this gentleman. Wow, look at this.
I thought it was firecrackers to begin with. Somebody over there was screaming, "He's been shot, he's been shot." So I made my way over. I said, "I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you." The guy had spun around, was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There's lots of blood.
Oh,
and
no.
he had brain matter there. And so I got him. There's a helicopter coming in to get him. So I got people there really helpful. I got
Was
him
there only
up
one
on the
person
bench.
shot that you saw?
Then I did CPR, did chest compressions as well as I breathed for him.
One person.
I was the only one
You
that
guys,
did
we
it.
need to evacuate everybody.
Hunter, that's exactly where I heard him come from.
What did you see, sir?
I heard the shots. I thought it was firecrackers to begin with. Somebody over there was screaming, "He's been shot, he's been shot." So I made my way over. I said, "I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you." The guy had spun around, was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There's lots of blood. And
Okay.
he had brain matter.
Adderall,
there.
sit this
And
one
so
out.
I got him.
If 2 people are going to bug you in the chat, I don't know what to
coming
tell
in
you.
get him. So I got people there really helpful. I got
Was
him
there only
up
one
on the
person
bench.
shot that you saw?
Then I did CPR, did chest compressions as well as I breathed for him.
One person.
I was the only one
You
that
guys,
did
we
it.
need to evacuate everybody.
Hunter, that's
I mean, if 2 people are going to rile you up right now, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this is a very important day in America. It's a very sad day in America. And I wouldn't wish this on any political opponent. We need to come together as Americans today. Let's see. I think I have another video here. Let me just check. I think there was another witness that spoke. And I get it. This is very off topic of the things that we've been reporting. People will stay away from this type of conversations. I will not. You know, it needs to be spoken about. I did not get that video, Casey. I didn't get the video, so I don't know if it got emailed to me or sent. It's not on X. So if you can get it to me, I'll definitely play it. All right, let's go back to Fox here.
FBI fly team is en route to Butler, Pennsylvania to conduct an assassination investigation, Secret Service officials tell Fox News. How does an investigation of this sort begin, Marvin?
All right,
an assassination
I'll
attempt
try to find
investigation
the BBC video.
is going to be no small undertaking. Where do they start?
Well, because the shooter has been killed, and obviously they have his remains in custody, they will start with that and work their way backwards to where he's from, who his associates are, what the weapon was, that kind of thing. It'll be an extremely intense investigation.
All right. Well, we do appreciate your time today. That was Marvin Jones. He's a former.
I think I have the BBC interview. Let's go to that. And let's see. There's a witness that is speaking. Let's go here.
I believe he's with someone who can tell us a bit more about what might have happened. An eyewitness there. Gary, what more do you have?
Yeah, Carl, we're just hearing a lot of sirens at the moment, as you can imagine, a lot of confusion. But I do have with me Theo, who was actually inside the rally at the time. Tell us what you saw, what you heard.
Sure. I was about 50 feet from the president, and I noticed three shots were fired. I saw white smoke, and then, of course, everyone was very panicked and went down immediately. I saw that there was a large speaker, which fell immediately, and then suddenly all over the president were Secret Service, etc. Everyone was very scared, and I saw someone being rushed to an ambulance just a few feet away from me.
Someone from the crowd?
Yes, I believe so.
Right. Did you get any impression of where the shots were coming from?
I think that they were coming from that building right there, or something near there.
Right. That's where you heard the sound coming from.
That's right.
And that's outside the perimeter of the event itself, right?
That's right. It's outside the perimeter.
Right. And what did you do when you heard the shots?
Well, I just sort of collapsed onto the ground and hid. But
I don't know. Listen,
many
you know,
rumors, people were saying that
it's a
President Trump
crazy
was hidden
situation
here.
now. You
People
know,
are afraid
it's a
that
lot of
President Trump was
videos, a lot of
being,
things, and
pulled
we're
off
trying to do the best we can.
There's a lot
so.
of chaos, and we don't know what's going on.
Just, it is
But
what
you
it is.
saw at least one person being taken to an ambulance.
I did.
Okay. And what was the atmosphere like in there when the shooting started?
Well, it was very
Well, if someone can email it to me, I'll play the video. I'm trying to do my best.
Some people were trying to
tell us what I
run.
can.
Some people were just staying
I mean,
still.
I don't
but
know.
everyone
I've
was
been at
very
work
afraid.
all day, so
And it must
I'm
have been
trying to get
incredibly
caught up.
scary for you.
It was, yeah.
Right. Because you came
Just
here
email it
because
to
you're
me.
a supporter of the president.
That's
former
right.
president.
That's right.
Right. And you kind of imagine this sort of thing.
I was not expecting to be shot at today. No.
No. And what are you going to go home now and try and relax a bit? And...
I hope so. I hope I can just sit down and relax and take the edge off.
Okay, Theo. Well, we're sorry you were inside to witness this, and we're sorry that it was such a shock for you. But thanks for speaking to BBC News.
You're welcome.
Just email it to
So
me.
you can
It's a
hear
lot
it must have
easier.
been a incredibly traumatic incident inside for those. I mean, it was scary, Carl, for us out here, and we're several hundred meters away when we heard that shooting start. And for those, and you heard Theo there saying he was about 50 feet from the president when
Okay, I
the
have
shooting
it.
started. Some indications he felt that the shooting had come from a building outside the perimeter. We'd heard that from someone else as well.
I have the other interview. I'm going to pull that up. Thank you for sending it. I appreciate it. Let's pull that up. Red hat guy. Then everyone wants to hear. But here we go.
President Biden, we do have a statement. Also, I do want to update that we are hearing that the former president was hit by shrapnel again that was flying from wherever the shooter was. And of course, the bullets did unfortunately hit someone behind former President Trump. And also, I know there's someone else seriously injured.
Why is it going 5 million miles an hour?
And we all decided, hey, behind us, the Sprinkles Farming Greenhouse here, we had a party.
I can't play that. It's at 5 million miles an hour. Let me go back to this. Someone can get me the Red Hat interview. Please send it
Up on the
at
screen
normal
for everyone.
speed.
Trump says, I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong in that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America, all caps. Austin, we're getting confirmation now. Remember, there was some uncertainty on whether or not he was actually struck with a bullet or whether or not it was glass fragments that hit him from the teleprompter, if the bullet hit the teleprompter and then the glass fragments hit his ear. Former President Trump right now is confirming for all of us that indeed, and in fact, a bullet did hit his right ear, the upper part of his right ear. So that is quite stunning. That is a huge development here. We're hearing that from former President Trump on Truth Social. Mere minutes ago, we just
Melissa,
put that
thank you for
post
the,
up. And so
email.
we heard from the campaign in the immediate aftermath of the shooting there that Trump was going to be fine, that he's
Yeah, I
in
got
good
that.
spirits,
Thank you.
thanking the Secret Service, thanking law enforcement. But now we know from Trump's
Thank you,
own
Melissa.
fingers on Truth Social, typing this out to all of us, confirming, saying that he was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of his right
got it.
ear.
Thank
He said
you.
he knew immediately that something was wrong
Let's
and
listen to
that
this
he
for
heard
a
a
second.
whizzing
Thank you,
sound,
Melissa. I appreciate
shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. And of course, I believe we have a photo, and you can see the blood coming down the side of his face and hit the top of his right ear is very, very bloody as well. I know we have that photo you can see there. You can also see blood on his cheek, also on his neck as well as he was whisked away. So, man, that photo right there is going to be in history
Very
books for
powerful,
time immemorial.
And
Austin?
just how close this bullet, as we're now finding out, how close this bullet was to making this situation something much, much different. We have joining us today, Ken Gray, always standing by for us. Thank you for coming on to help us break this down. Ken, your initial reactions to everything we've been seeing today.
Hi, Austin. So this is shocking that this event should happen like it did.
All right, let's play Red Hat Guy. And if Trump decides to speak or come out and say anything, we'll definitely get back to that. Let's see Red Hat Guy. Thank you for sending me the video. It's on X, the Hodges twins. Let's play this.
Inside the event, but you were just outside. Tell us what you saw. So we had a party here all day. You can see behind us the Brinkles Farming Greenhouse here. We had a party. And we all decided, hey, you know, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees up there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally, right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, you know. But we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, and, you know, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him.
Oh
with
my
a
God.
rifle. Absolutely.
It's crazy.
We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here.
Oh,
See him.
wow.
You know, he's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots rang out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%.
Wow.
100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up
You
there.
saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service.
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see.
Like he's got a beer.
Why is there not Secret Service?
I don't want to laugh in this situation, but
I mean, this
it's
is
kind of
not a
funny.
big place.
Did you see? I mean, obviously, everyone when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Oh.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay.
Wow.
Be careful because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Donna, thanks for the 2.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was
Wow.
it. It was over.
It's incredibly shocking.
The guy was on the roof right there. You can see the white roof right there.
Did you get a look at him? Could you?
I no, other than he was in muted colors, tan type clothing. We saw the rifle flinging around as he was trying to crawl. I mean, we saw the rifle, 100%.
Do you know about guns? Do you know what kind of weapon it was?
Oh, I absolutely know about guns, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it was a rifle of some sort. I wouldn't know, I wasn't close enough to read the label on it,
No, sure. But
it was a rifle of some sort. Yeah, absolutely.
So how do you process what you've just seen?
I don't know what to say, man. All I'll tell you is, if I walked up close to there with anything that Secret Service considered a problem, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you right now. But I don't know why a guy who we're standing there pointing out to police and Secret Service is crawling up the roof.
Wow.
Yes, right there by that tree. We were outside the security perimeter. But
A lot of people are going to have
my
questions
question
to
is,
answer for.
there's only a few buildings around here. Why is Secret Service not on every building here?
Well, there's a whole bunch of questions I think that are going to come.
There's a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, she was right in front of me. She kept going back and forth right in front of me. Yes.
Tell us about her.
I mean, nice horse, nice lady running with a flag. Seemed very, patriotic.
But what's the significance of her?
No, he asked me if I saw a horse.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I'm sorry you had to.
Wow.
That's a terrible thing.
That's a big
And,
interview.
stay safe
Wow.
with your family and-
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just like the
Thanks for
MLK
coming.
situation. Yep. Wow. Wow. All right, let's go to, not really liking the feed here. Let's go here. Let's see. I think this is NBC.
Swirling about whether this might be the event where he announced his nominee for vice president. Obviously now the mood, the tone, the focus
thanks,
has
Jersey.
shifted to this
Yeah.
horrific act.
I just
of
want to see what's
political
going on.
violence
It's
that
very
unfolded
important.
at this
Very
Pennsylvania
sad day in
rally.
America.
President Biden did address the nation just a short time ago, saying this is unheard of. Everybody must condemn it. He said he had tried to speak with the former president, had not been able to, but is continuing those attempts. He's also getting briefed. I want to go to our senior White House correspondent, Kelly O'Donnell, who is following all of this along with us. Kelly, what's the latest there?
Well, from the Biden White House perspective, this is a moment for trying to get information to the president. He, of course, is in charge of the Department of Justice and the Secret Service that are, of course, the agencies that will be working on this. There is always a careful separation between the executive and the law enforcement capabilities. But that's why the Biden White House has a critical role to play to provide the resources at the federal level to investigate this. The president indicated that he also recognizes that state and local officials are very much involved at this right now. Part of what will be a question going forward is what is the immediate change, if any, to the political calendar that is scheduled for this week, with the Republican National Convention expected to be in Milwaukee with lots of important events. Obviously, a full assessment of what is the condition of the former president right now. We don't have confirmed reporting yet about the state of that. When he left this event site, as the video indicates, of course, he was taken and has the resources around him for medical care. President Biden has said he wishes to speak to Donald Trump tonight. That can happen whenever the two are able to connect. That is not necessarily a vital piece in terms of next steps, but it is the kind of gesture and important connection that actually does send a message right now
You're right,
that
Katie.
this is not about the politics of the moment, and that there are bigger issues here with the current president and several former presidents talking about no room for political violence. We're hearing that from many elected officials on Capitol Hill as well.
Wow, look at his
And
ear.
right now, we're in a
Wow.
period of a few different streams of information. What is the investigation producing? What is known about the shooter involved? The extent to which this was some kind of an organized attempt? Were there others involved? All of those questions need to be sorted out. Then there's the political fallout. There is typically a quieting period after an unexpected event. Normally in campaigns, that would be something far less graphic than this. It might be the death of a loved one in a campaign. It might be a car accident. We've seen all those iterations before, and there's typically a quieting period where both campaigns turn down the volume. Everyone catches their breath before the rigor of a campaign resumes again. So this is a critical evening to gather facts, to get a sense of the scope of this, for direct communication between President Biden as a person and former President Donald Trump as a person, and not so much as candidates or in their office and former office. That's part of what's playing out here. Now, the president indicated he would speak again or communicate again if there were further developments. And there are questions to be identified about what next steps there should be and are all the resources there. Even a question about where does former President Trump go in the immediate hours ahead. He, of course, was on the road as a candidate in Pennsylvania. What is the immediate plan for his next steps? Presidents and former presidents have not only a lot of security around them, but often their homes have additional security as well. So finding a way to safely transport him, making certain of his medical situation, and then the necessary communication between the White House and the former president. Those are the things we're watching. Kristen?
Kelly O'Donnell at the White House for us. Kelly, thank you. And as you have been speaking, Kelly, we are watching these chilling, horrifying images of the former president rushed off the stage, bloodied, defiant, that tradition.
You know, my whole thing in this is, and I wish Sean would just jump on and talk about security, Sean on the golf. I mean, I don't care whatever political side. I'm just more curious about how this got breached. How did this breach happen? You know, was there not a regular check done? I find it curious that there was no security booth. Oh, they're live on the scene. Let's go down here.
Are stuck in this traffic jam and are processing what they just witnessed. I want you to hear now from, remind me your name, ma'am?
Vanessa Asher.
Vanessa Asher. Vanessa, you were very close to the former president when this happened. Can you describe to me where you were and what you saw?
We were 6 rows back, right in front of his podium, straight back. And he was talking about his chart on this side. And he was looking directly at his chart. And when he went over to this one, that's when he was grazed here. He was shot. And if he would not have looked at his other chart, it probably would have got him in the head.
So he turned his head just in the nick of time.
Yes, he did. In the nick of time.
And Lester, let me just explain to you, and I want to follow up with you more, Vanessa, but this is what we were talking about earlier. I'll send it back to you, Lester.
I apologize. Things are moving quickly here. We're apparently hearing from the former president himself. Hallie Jackson has it. Hallie?
It is a new post on his online platform, Truth Social, Lester, in which the former president says, and I will read this in full, because obviously this is the first time that we are now hearing from the former president himself since this incident at his rally in Butler. He says, I want to thank the United States.
Real quick, I'm just going to pause it. You know, I don't know, you know, people get busy or whatever. You know, and a lot of people won't come near politics. That's the biggest thing. My whole thing is just reporting on the news, what's going on, whatever political side you're on. This is not how to vote. This is not the right way to get candidates in being president or any candidate, whatever office they're running for. This is not the right way to vote. And it's tragic all around. I wouldn't wish this on Biden. I don't want it on Trump. I don't want it on any people in our political system. This is a very, 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 very sad day in America right now. Extremely sad day.
States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, the former president continues, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. He goes on to say, it is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. He also adds, nothing is known at this time about the shooter who is now dead. The former president says he was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. You're looking at that online post now. So he is confirming, he says that he was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of his right ear. He says, I knew immediately that something was wrong and that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. And he ends this post by saying, God bless America. So, Lester, some significant questions that are being answered now from the former president here as to what happened, as to how he's doing, as to his state of mind. And again, significant in that he's describing in rather vivid detail the moment when he says that bullet went through his ear. He heard the whizzing sound. You're seeing some of these images now, including some that are being circulated by his allies with the former president, his fist raised in the air. He said he felt the bullet ripping through the skin with a lot of bleeding taking place. What we don't know now is where the former president, is headed next. We understand that he is obviously getting treated at that local medical facility. We know from his son, and I will tell you from other sources that I've spoken with, that he appears to be in good spirits. That is what folks are being told, and that his son, who has spoken with him directly, says. And you see the former president able to, obviously, in these videos, this images we've been showing, able to move, able to pump his fist, but you see the blood that he's talking about there on his right ear as the former president is describing what happened. Important to note here, he is also, of course, extending condolences to the person who was hurt, the person who was believed to be killed there, and thanking law enforcement for their incredibly fast response. And you saw the response, Lester, in one of these remarkable moments as it unfolded. In some quarters, in some places online, there was a live stream of this happening. Obviously, the cameras of every network in the country were on this, given that he is the presumptive Republican nominee, of course, before this happened. And you see the absolute chaos there in Butler that we've been describing from Dasha, from Jillian, from Jake and Bianca and our teams there as the rest of it unfolded there. So again, Lester, the first statement that we are getting from the former president himself, posted as Donald Trump is wont to do, posted on an online platform there on Truth Social, as he's looking to get the message out immediately, as quickly as he can, it appears, to the American people, that he appears to be okay, that he's extending his condolences, and specifically what happened, as he says, that bullet hit his ear, Lester.
Yeah, incredible to look at how close that was to hitting a vital area of him. That first description from the former president himself, Hallie Jackson, thanks very much. Our senior White House correspondent, Kelly O'Donnell, joins us. Kelly, you have a new statement from President Biden.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to go to Garrett Hake right now. Garrett?
Lester, in reading that statement from Donald Trump, confirming that, in fact, he was shot in this incident in Butler tonight, I think about the times that I have discussed his safety with members of his campaign over the last year or so. And there has always been tension and awareness in the minds of Donald Trump's campaign staff, even at senior levels, of the risk that he takes every time he goes out. Campaign officials will tell you that he gets an enormous amount of threats, frankly, as many politicians do across the political spectrum, and that the campaign has worked across this very long period of time since he first announced more than a year ago that he would be running for president, to balance, in some cases, his desire to hold these kind of mega rallies, these huge outdoor events, with his personal safety. They're very cautious about using what is known in the industry as OTR stops, the idea of him appearing at short notice in certain locations where folks cannot necessarily be screened in the same manner that they are by the Secret Service at events like this. And, you know, any presidential campaign thinks about the candidate's safety. It's a major part of the job. You work with the Secret Service for that reason. But this has been front and center in the minds of campaign staffers going back really since before the launch of this campaign. Obviously, an unusual campaign in the sense that here is someone who has never not had Secret Service protection from the moment he was first sworn in 2017 through this moment. And I think looking ahead now, and this is something that we're trying to report out, is what, if anything, is going to change about the Republican convention next week? Obviously, the former president was set to arrive there on Monday morning. He was expected to be in Milwaukee across those 4 days. These conventions, as many of our viewers know, are very much high security situations. Downtowns locked down days in advance, very difficult to go in or out. What will change in the security, and what will change in the messaging of this convention? We've already seen some of Donald Trump's allies, perhaps most notably his son, Eric Trump, making use of that image on your screen right now, the fist pump from Donald Trump in the moments after we now know that he was shot, to say that this is the fighter America needs, in the words of Eric Trump and in the words of many of his allies, who I think, you know, setting aside the moment that we are in right now, and especially knowing from the former president's own lips now, or his own fingertips, I suppose, that he's going to be okay. This image of him as a fighter is so central to his political identity, so central to his campaign's strategy, and something that I'm sure will be incorporated into whatever we see of the convention next week. What changes might be taking place right now, Lester, very difficult to say. The campaign is on a complete lockdown, not talking to the press, really working through first what's going on with their candidate and what their next steps will be tomorrow and in the days ahead.
All right, we're looking at a motorcade leaving a nearby hospital that has been under heavy security here since all this happened. We have not received confirmation that former President Trump has been treated there, but we did just see look like a small motorcade leaving the area. So we'll continue to monitor that.
Just want to show this. I don't know how accurate this is, but someone's pointing this out on X, and it is X, so there's a lot of things that go around. But I don't know if this is real or not, but the caption was, did he take one to the vest? Quite possible. And I would have said that probably in his statement, he probably would have said something about it. So again, there's a lot of crap out there on X that, is not true. And we'll stay with this a little longer. I'm not going to do too much longer. But again, I just wanted to come on and report this. Kat, thank you so much for the one gifted membership. I understand that political stuff is very hyperbolic. And, listen, my stance on all of this is this. This is not how you vote. Whatever political side you are on, this is not how you vote. And bottom line, this is an extremely sad day in America. And it's a very scary day in America because, how do we know that this is not going to continue? I mean, there could be something on Biden. It could be back on Trump or whatever it is. We don't know who these people are. I'm sure that they will find out who this person was that tried to make this attempt. And apparently he's been neutralized, but they will get access and look into his or her background and find out, what happened. And this is not something that I'm going to continue reporting on. I'm reporting on this in the moment because people should know about this. And whatever your thoughts are on whatever political side, again, in my opinion, this is just an absolutely very sad day in America. So we'll listen a little bit more and I'm going to wrap this one up.
Speculation is typically the kind of thing that folks in my business are talking about right now. News only for the most dialed in of the political viewers out there. Now, all of a sudden, we're talking about what appears to be what is being investigated as, according to our reporting, as an attempt on the life of a nominee or soon-to-be nominee of the presidency of the United States. The phrase that we are in uncharted waters is completely worn out, Lester, but here we find it once again, perhaps the most appropriate way to view our political dynamic.
It certainly says it in so many ways. Thank you, Garrett. Let's bring in our senior Washington correspondent, Hallie Jackson. You have received a statement from the Secret Service. What are they saying right now?
Yeah, a new statement now putting on the record officially, Lester, what our team has been able to report out from their sources over the course of the last 2 hours or so. I will read it in full here because it's important to note what the Secret Service is saying, that during the rally in Butler tonight at around 6:15 p.m., they say a suspected shooter fired multiple shots toward the stage from an elevated position outside of the rally venue. They say that Secret Service personnel neutralized the shooter, who is now deceased. The Secret Service quickly responded with protective measures, and the former president is safe and being evaluated. The Secret Service spokesperson goes on to say that one spectator was killed, two spectators were critically injured, so badly hurt. The incident is currently under investigation, and the Secret Service has formally notified the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And obviously the FBI and the Secret Service have plenty more work to do here on this front. But Lester, again, significant in that this is the official confirmation that, as we have been reporting here, the suspected shooter here is dead. 2 people have been badly hurt. One person was killed here in a moment that is reverberating celebrating not just in the political world, but around the country. And I will tell you around the world with international reaction coming in from world leaders. I want to also share with you some reaction coming in from the former president's daughter, Ivanka Trump, who is posting now in just the last couple of minutes that she is thanking people for their love and prayers for her father and for other victims of today's senseless violence in Butler, Pennsylvania. She says she's grateful to the Secret Service, to law enforcement officers. She continues to pray for our country, ending by saying, "I love you, Dad." Again, from Ivanka Trump, today and always, Lester.
All right, Hallie, thank you. For our viewers just joining us as we near the top of the hour, we're on the air with breaking news. We have been for several hours now following the events involving a shooting at Donald Trump's Pennsylvania rally this evening. The former president has been injured. He says he was shot, and he has just posted on Truth Social that he was hit with a bullet that pierced the upper part of his right ear. He says he felt it ripping through his skin. What I want to do here is pause for a moment, and we're going to roll the video of what happened just shortly after 6 p.m. here on the East Coast while Mr. Trump was speaking. Listen closely also to the sound of the gunshots and what's heard of the moments right after that until he is rushed into the car. Here it is.
A little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
You hear the multiple. It's going to pause, and then you hear the one shot. That's probably Secret Service. Right there. That's probably the shot that took out the shooter. You had the multiple shots. And then the one single shot was probably from the Secret Service.
You ready?
8 shots. Someone said 10.
Are we good? Shooter's down. Are we good to move?
Shooter's down. You hear it there.
Come on. Let me get my shoes. I got you, sir. Let me get my shoes, sir. Hold on in your head.
Let me get my shoes, he says. Wow.
Watch out.
He said, wait, wait. I wonder what he mouthed. It was either fight or victory. I couldn't make out what he was mouthing. I want to see what he's mouthing. Excuse me.
Ready? Are we good? Shooter's down. Are we good to move? We're clear. We're clear. Come on. Let me get my shoes.
Let me get my shoes.
Let me get my shoes. Hold on, your head is bloody. So we gotta move to the bus.
He said, hold on, your head is bloody.
Watch out.
He said, wait, wait. He said, fuck it right, maybe? Looks like he said the fuck it right. Yeah, either fight or fuck it, fight, something like that. You heard the original WB? Wow. Or fight. Yeah, it looked like he said fuck it and then fight. Well, listen,
we wanted you to.
You've just been shot at. You've just survived an assassination attempt. The adrenaline is running through your body, and that is, in my opinion, it's just not someone backing down from anything like this and standing up for what's right. And I'm sure tomorrow he'll be right back out there again, because that's what you do. if you love America and you want to fight for America, that's what you do. It's just crazy.
I have tried to
All right,
get.
we heard that
Same
already.
thing. It was he
Let me
was
go back up.
outdoors. The difference with him, it was an arrival departure movement. So he's moving from a secure location to the car, and he's moving to the car. Shots are fired. Now, at first glance, Reagan didn't look like he had anything. He looked okay, but his then detail leader in the vehicle actually searched him, and what they found was a small wound, and they found the gunshot wound, but that was not discovered until inside the vehicle. So although you're seeing him initially outside, he's standing, you see Donald Trump give the fist pump, but you really want to check him when he's in the car. And then from there, what you're going to do is you're going to take him to a hospital. So I know there was reporting that he was at some type of medical facility, a hospital, we're presuming. That's another thing that's put into basically the strategic response.
So crazy.
You always have a hospital.
Wow.
That hospital, when you pick one, you're looking for something called a Trauma One hospital. Why do you want Trauma One hospital? A Trauma One hospital is a hospital that can deal with gunshot wounds. They can deal with mass trauma. So when you have a protectee, the idea, and in training, you understand that if they're going to be attacked, it's going to be likely with a weapon, a shot. So you want to take your protectee to a facility that can treat gunshot wounds, that can treat serious trauma. So it's very likely that the facility that Donald Trump was taken to was a facility like this. There's always an agent there in advance. They go in advance to speak to the medical staff. So there is a medical protocol that is put in place so that when something like this happens, the hospital and that agent is already there to receive the president and to do an assessment on him.
Let me ask you about who makes the decision as to how the venues are used. Does the campaign
agree,
simply
Barbara.
call up and say, hey, we're going to be at this site, you guys figure out how to secure it? Or do you tend to work together with the campaigns? How does that go?
You know, it's usually the
Wow, look at
first,
that. The
and it's
flag.
probably one of the hardest things. The U.S. Secret Service works really hard to try not to intervene, not to interfere in their protectees' movements. Look, the president of the United States, a former president, when they're campaigning, they need to be with the people, shaking hands, talking to everybody. Secret Service, you want to keep them secure. You want to keep them away from everyone. So the goal is to try to let them do their job, because they're a person of the people. So who do they need to be with? The people. So Secret Service typically allows staff to pick the locations. We will go there. It's very, very rare. I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen it where they were told, no, you can't do it here. They're an agency that is very can-do. We can do this. I have to tell you, at first glance, even with this location, I don't see anything different than the other rallies I've been to myself. So this is quite common. Now, Secret Service can say no, but you really have to have a good reason as to why you're going to say no and justify that.
Abby, thank you. You continue to provide us with rich information as we try to visualize all these things and understand it and really interpret some of the video we've been seeing. We appreciate it. We'll ask you to stand by. I want to talk to Congressman Mike Kelly now. He was at that rally with his grandkids. Congressman, thank you for being with us. You guys okay?
Yes, Lester, thank you. We're fine.
How close were you to the former president, and what did you witness?
So I was about maybe 50 feet away from the podium where President Trump was speaking, and
excuse me,
and that with some other congressional members and a member for the Senate. But and then behind me there were the stanchions where people were sitting in the seats. So very close to it. A very strange day. Because you can imagine where I live in Butler, Pennsylvania. This is an agriculture town. This is an ag area, right? And we had it at the Butler Farm Show today, which is for years I've been coming here. And actually, we always participate in the 4-H sale here, where the children bring their animals in and sell them. They make pies and cakes. And they have all these contests. This is about as basic as you can get. This is about as basic America as you can find. And today, Lester, I got to tell you, it was a beautiful summer day. People celebrating, people happy, people grilling food and getting ready for President Trump to come in. And then the aftermath of it was just shaking. You just couldn't believe it. And I'm really concerned as we go forward. There's something wrong in America right now.
Yeah. He's right.
Look, this doesn't make sense. I will
Yep.
tell you this, though, as President Trump and his right ear, the bullet went through his right ear. It's a fraction of an inch maybe away from killing him. As he was leaving and they were carrying him out, the
So lucky.
Secret Service, he put his hand up in the air like, I'm okay. Unfortunately, the people behind me, about 10 rows up in the stands, there were people up there yelling and screaming, and they were talking, and they had blood on their shirts and stuff, and there was a man who was down there. The security team rushed over there. They took him out of the stands, and apparently he has since passed away. But Lester, there's something wrong. There's something wrong in America today. This is we certainly today look like a third world country.
Yeah.
Look, if you don't like
Sad day in
whoever the
America.
candidate is, just don't vote for them. An attempted assassination on a presumption of the candidate. We're going into our convention this week. Former President Trump is going to come out as our candidate. What is wrong? What has happened in America?
Do you
This
think
is absolutely bizarre?
Do you think that we will hear a different tone for the rest of this campaign coming from frankly both sides?
You know what? I would sure hope so. But do you know, and because I think you all covered this before, in 2017, our Republican baseball team was practicing for a spring baseball game as a charity event.
Yep.
And our leader now, Steve Scalise, was, again, a gunman attacked our guys while they were at practice and shooting up the place.
Yeah, I reported that.
I just don't understand this anymore. I really don't understand. The greatest nation in the world right now has succumbed to being a third world country.
That's sad.
The level of hate, the level of discourse that takes place has got to stop. It has got to stop, and we've got to return to who we are. We are a great, great nation, and we say in all our prayers, under God, under God, under God. Well, I'm sure that right now, people of faith, tomorrow on Sunday morning, please go to wherever it is that you worship, drop to your knees tonight and pray for America. Pray for President Trump, that he's going to be okay. We also have, as I said, one man was shot. This guy was just there celebrating a day at the farm showgrounds, and all of a sudden, somebody takes into their hands. They have to start shooting up the crowd, shoot the president in the head. It's absolutely, it's off the charts. Third world country now. We have to start rallying around about who we are. When 1.5 million men in uniform and women in uniform have died to give us the right to practice the form of government we have, for us to be so casual and so callous about it? No. It's time for America to get back to being America.
And Congressman, you were there with your grandchildren. I didn't get the ages of the, were they young children?
Yeah. I mean, so we had children there anywhere from 4 years old up to 12 years old. Let's see, about 10 of them. My wife
there's
was
that
there.
guy.
My sister-in-law was there
There's
with
the
her
guy.
grandchildren. One of my sons was with me. And you have to wonder.
To let you know, YouTube has already demonetized this stream. A huge, and the funny thing is, these networks were allowed to stream on these platforms. And this mainstream media platform right now, NBC, is probably making millions of dollars covering this. And even streaming it through YouTube, they're probably making millions. You know how much I'll make off this video and the end of it, besides the super chats I got? I got $2, $5, $2. So we got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. $11. I'll probably make 65 cents off this video when it's monetized, if it's monetized. But YouTube will allow these mainstream media to stream this, okay, and won't demonetize these outlets. This NBC is probably making millions right now through YouTube. And the guy that's just relaying information to his subscriber base, they demonetize it. I have to now get a human review, and they will say that it's not going to be correct for the platform because of insensitive information. Well, this is a day in America, people. This is history that has happened. It's insane what YouTube does on these fucking on this platform. Any sensitive subject, they shut it down right away and they demonetize us. And this is real life, people. This is real life. This is going on in our country right now. Everybody needs to hear this. Everybody needs to hear this. And that's the one thing I hate about YouTube. I can't even go back. The stream that I had with Sean a couple of weeks ago. That stream got demonetized. I've gone back and watched it. I'm like, what did we say on there? We're just reporting news. We're talking about facts, and they demonetize it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Yeah, I agree. Elon should have bought YouTube instead of Twitter. Absolutely. But the problem is that Twitter is so instantaneously, and that's the news cycle. That's why he wanted it. And that's why he went in and bought the platform, so it can bring it back to the people. You know, YouTube says that they're here for us. Listen, they nail us all the time. They nail us. I have to pay 30% of anything that comes in on my stream. They take it. Then I got to pay taxes on top of that money. They take it. Then when I'm literally reporting something that happened in America today, a very important day in American history, and you're just going to take it away, demonetize it. It's insane. I hate this platform, but I love this platform. And unfortunately, this is it. Because I'm not going on Rumble. No one ain't going over there. Not going to go on Facebook. No one ain't going over there. Twitter's not going to be an option. We're stuck here. We're stuck here. You know, it's very annoying. And I hope there's a human review right now looking at this video. And they need to start understanding, if you're going to start doing this, give some control back to the people that work on this platform, that host content on this platform. Why are you nailing us with 30%? You guys are like the conglomerate. You make billions of dollars a year, and the creator, you got to suck 30% out of every income, and then we have to pay state taxes on top of that. It's insane. It's insane. I'm sorry. I'm going off right now. I have to acknowledge this. Kat, thank you so much. The $10 says, I hope it helps. It does. Thank you. I appreciate that. Keeps the lights on in the studio. And then Jamie with a big $50 super chat. Jamie, you didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it. Thank you. I mean, this is a very important day in American history. 100% it's a very important day. And I appreciate that. All right, let's go back to the live
scheduled stops that presidential candidates like to make.
So annoying.
At every single one of these stops that are discussed, there are serious high-level discussions about whether they can be
big Cash App, Haley. You did not have to do that. $100 from Haley. Thank you. I appreciate it. You didn't have to do that. That's not why I'm going off. It's just, it's stupid. Like, this is news. I mean, like, because it triggered the sensitive algorithm. I mean, give me a fucking break here. You know, give me a break. We're literally reporting what's going on in American history right now. And you're going to take away the 63 cents that I'm going to make.
In New Hampshire, when they realized that these giant rallies were pulling in so many people from states that weren't relevant. You know, if you held an event in Iowa for 10,000 people and 6,000 of them drove over from Illinois, it wasn't helping you in the caucus. So they made tactical decisions along the way to shrink events for that purpose. Obviously, in a general election, when you're talking about 70, 80 million voters across the country, but mostly focused on battleground states, it doesn't seem outside of reason that they might find smaller events that look just as good on television might be safer, easier, certainly cheaper going forward. But again, I think these are all conversations that are going to be had down the line with a president, as you note, who very much likes to have these events to talk about the crowd size and to make that part of the sort of his idea of projecting strength as a candidate.
All right, Garrett Haake, thanks. We'll ask you to stand by as I bring in our senior Washington correspondent, Hallie Jackson. Hallie, we have been hearing from members of the Trump family tonight. In fact, Garrett mentioned some of them.
Thank you so much.
Obviously,
you didn't have to do that.
I guess they are the lone conduits. The campaign itself is being very quiet right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, they are. And they have taken on the position now of sort of communicating to the American people, as their father has now done in that Truth Social, that online post that Garrett just referenced, how their dad is doing. Donald Trump Jr. is saying that his father is in good spirits,
Cindy,
and he has spoken with him. I have heard from somebody else who has spoken with the former president, very close with him, who describes him as very tough. And so we know that the former president was shot in the ear based on, of course, that post. His daughter Ivanka Trump also releasing a post saying that she loves her father, condemning political violence, as so many on either side of the aisle have done tonight now over the course of the last 3 hours or so. I was struck listening to your conversation there with Congressman Kelly Lester, who knows Butler very well. That's his hometown. He was raised there. The place where this rally was held, this is, to use a cliche, Lester, it was Trump country. I mean, this is a place that skews heavily Republican, where Republicans outnumber Democrats 2-1, where Donald Trump handily won back in 2020 by something like 2/3 of the vote there. This
I
is
just
a
want to know
place
who the
where
person
he would,
is.
of
Any
course, be
reports
focusing
out
on
there?
coming up in this
Any-
upcoming election. It was a notable location for his rally just 2 days now before the convention was supposed to begin, because it was the last rally before Milwaukee. There was some question 4 hours ago as to whether or not the former president might actually roll out his running mate, his vice presidential pick there. That had been where so much of the focus and the conversation politically was for Donald Trump and for his campaign in the moments, of course, before this horrific shooting happened, this horrific attack. Now, obviously, the conversation has changed. And I can tell you, based on some of the reporting from our team here at NBC News, a source familiar with planning for the convention says this changes everything. That is reflected by some of the conversations that I've had as well. Sort of people are going, how could this go on as normal? So I think there is a real question mark as to the days ahead. But I think probably the most urgent one, and the question that we are working on too, is just physically, where does Mr. Trump go from here? Will we hear, for example, from any of the doctors who treated him? Will we perhaps see him publicly, maybe tonight, maybe early tomorrow morning? Will he want to make an appearance like that to come out and reassure the American people that he is, in fact, okay, that he is, in fact, in good spirits, Lester? And so I think there is obviously more to come on this story as we continue to report it out, both politically and from a law enforcement perspective, as you see the former president there and what has become that now iconic image.
Hallie, thank you. Let me go to Kristen Welker in our Washington, D.C. bureau. We're hearing from members of the President Biden's cabinet in reaction to this apparent assassination attempt.
Lester, we are the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, posting, "I am shocked and saddened by the shooting of former President Trump's rally and grateful that he is safe," reiterating what the president said tonight, that there is absolutely no place for political violence in America. We must all condemn it. We're also hearing from the Defense Secretary, Lloyd Austin, who says the entire Department of Defense condemns this violence, which has absolutely no place in our democracy. I think you're going to hear that term reiterated a number of times. Austin goes on to say, "This is not the way we resolve our differences in America, and it must never be. I am relieved that reports indicate former President Trump is safe, and I am praying for him and his family and everyone affected by this appalling incident." So incredibly strong language coming from the Biden administration, bolstering what we heard from President Biden tonight, condemning this violence in the strongest terms possible. And Lester, again, this is a moment where people on both sides of the aisle are coming together to condemn this, to say that we cannot tolerate this as a country and that, quite frankly, something has to change. It is worth noting that Congress has a role to play here. Obviously, federal authorities are going to lead the investigation into exactly what happened, how this could have happened at a Trump rally. But Congress also wanting to get to the bottom of how this unfolded. The chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer, writing in a statement, "I've already contacted the Secret Service for a briefing and am also calling on the Secret Service director to appear for a hearing." So, Lester, again, this is just the beginning of the process of starting to understand, starting to get to the bottom of exactly what happened and how this country will prevent this from happening again, both from a security standpoint, Lester, but also in terms of how our politics is conducted, the political rhetoric that is used in this country, and the tone with which this campaign is being waged.
And
Lester?
I think it's fair to say that there will be a desire to at least frame what occurred here tonight. And so to find out more about this shooter will certainly probably direct many of the conversations we'll have in the coming days. I want to go back to Tom Winter now, our investigative correspondent. Tom, what more have you learned?
It's an innocent person, you know.
Tom, you there?
Yeah. Hey, Lester. Sorry, we've just been on the phone, as you can imagine. I've got a couple of phones all working at once. We can say that the shooter has been identified to us by 4 senior law enforcement officials as a male. And I think shortly, we're just in the process of going through the last bit of verification. I kind of alluded to this when we were speaking moments ago.
So it
We're
is a
going to be able
male.
to show you video of where the or a still image of where this individual was, and it's coming into a little bit more clarity at this point of where this person was. Obviously, they were using some sort of a high-powered rifle. As you know, a handgun would not be able to fire with the
Andrea, thank you so
accuracy
much
and
for the 40.
velocity
I appreciate it.
from the
Thank you.
distance this individual would have been at. What type of weapon that is specifically? I've heard a lot of different things floating around and things competitively. It's just my experience that it's too soon to really get a handle on that level of granular detail. We do not have yet a name. As I mentioned to you the last time we spoke, there are a number of names on social media that do not appear to be the individual that's involved in this. And we're still waiting to get some clarification on that. So right now, here's the state of the investigation at 9:40 Eastern time. Law enforcement believes that they have a single alleged shooter who is now deceased. That individual, that name that they have, is being kept very close to this investigation. They are in the process of trying to get any other information about this person's motives, their background.
You know, real quick, I'm going to pause this because I just want to make a statement here. Listen, I find it very interesting because I'm covering this. Like, I had probably like 4 or 5 people literally unsubscribe to me over the last hour. I want to make this very, very clear to everybody, okay? This is a very, very extremely sad day in America. I wouldn't wish this on any candidate on either political side, okay? If this was Joe Biden, I would be covering it. I'm not trying to pin sides against each other. I'm just showing what's going on. People need to know about this. And I think it's pretty petty that you would unsubscribe because why? You don't like Trump and I'm covering this? I would cover the same news if it was Joe Biden. I would cover it if it was Barack Obama. I would cover it if it was Ivanka Trump, whatever. This is a very important day and people need to know about this. And it's petty because you don't like Donald Trump, you're going to unsubscribe. If you unsubscribe, you're not American. You're just not an American. You don't love America. This is for America. This shouldn't be happening in our country to any political party. And if you're literally going to unsubscribe from me because I'm covering Donald Trump news, then you don't fucking need to be here. And if I would be doing the same thing for Biden, and I would say the same thing for Biden, if you want to unsubscribe because I'm covering, something that possibly bad could have happened to Biden, then you're an idiot because this is America. This should be important to everybody right now. This is very hyperbolical. I mean, it's insane. This should not be happening. That's not the purpose of this stream. This is to get news and information out to my subscriber base based on what we do here on LTL Media. The mainstream media, yeah, unfortunately, we can't be there in the moment. I don't have a live feed camera down here, so I can pull up what they're reporting and we can have our own conversation about it. But this is not why I did this. I did it because it's major historic news. No matter who it is, that could have been Biden, it could have been Trump, it could have been Obama. I don't care right now what anybody's political affiliation is in this chat room. This is just bad. But you know the funny thing about it? I'm going to tell you the funny thing about this, people. This will be fucking... When this happened, when this was going on, this is how dumb America is now. This is how dumb America is now. I work in the public. Okay? There were multiple people around me today. When I started getting news of this, not one fucking person looked at their phone. Not one fucking person around me was talking about this. This is how dumb people are now today. They don't care. All they care about is themselves and their shopping and their fucking cars. That's how dumb this is. This is America. This is America, people. Wake up. This is very, very important. Not one person turned and said something like, hey, did you hear what just happened? Hey, did you know what's going on? This is how dumb we've become with things that go on inside our country. People just want to ignore it. And they're just all these self-centered individuals now. No one cares about anything that goes on around them anymore. They don't care. I hate it. I hate the fact that people are not aware of their surroundings. This could be anything. You could be out, and this could be a shooting that happened around you. And that's why I always say, look around your surroundings. Look who's around you. Look where your exit points are. Look where there's a place that you can go for shelter or look to help someone. We need to wake up. This cannot happen. This is bad. Like, people need to understand and realize this. This is very, very bad for our country right now. Not even talking political. Take the politics out of it. These candidates have the right to be there. These candidates have the right to go all the way as the nominees and have the American people vote. This is not how you cast a vote, by trying to attempt to assassinate someone. It's disgusting. So if you wanted to unsubscribe from my channel because I covered something political that might hurt you, well, I think you're dumb. I think you're dumb. I'm just going to say it. I think it's a dumb thing. This is history. It's America. And if you're fucking American, you should care about this, regardless of the political side. And that's all I really have to say right now about it. All right, let's go back.
That they can get, and then to be able to figure out where this investigation goes. Of course, they want to rule out whether or not this individual had any help. They want to rule out what may have led up to this. And of course, long term, Lester, there'll be an analysis of,
because all this is going to do is this behavior now, because this happened, and if it doesn't get snuffed out, you're just enabling more people to do this. What if tomorrow Biden's at a rally and someone tries to do this back at Biden because they're mad at what happened with Trump? Like, this is really bad. This cannot happen. It cannot happen. And, right now, as Americans, we need to rally together 100%. 100%.
And that call was obviously taken, and the FBI is very much involved, along with the local U.S. Attorney's Office. And they will go through and get the necessary warrants for the property of this individual and anybody known to them. And the question is, obviously, where did things come from and when? And was this person picked up in the moments beforehand? We're a little bit more cautious in this day and age. Not that we never were, but we're a little more cautious in this day and age with deep fake videos, with AI generated videos and images that we really try to do to the best of our human ability, an exhaustive effort to make sure that.
I've been pretty open. I lean center right. I don't bring politics up into my thing, but I lean center right. If that happened to Biden, absolutely. I wouldn't wish that upon him. That's crazy to think that way. Let me just pull this up. I saw JJ had a good chat here. So this is major news. You shouldn't have to explain yourself to people like that. They need to do some soul searching. Absolutely, man. I completely agree. It's just bad.
Things are floating around online.
It's not good.
Former President Trump's rally and have briefed the president. The FBI, ATF, U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Pennsylvania and the Department's National Security Division are currently working with the Secret Service as well as state and local law enforcement partners on the ground in Butler, Pennsylvania. My heart is with the former president, those injured, and the family of the spectator killed in this horrific attack. We will not tolerate violence of any
that's not
kind,
how you
and
solve
violence
these
like
things.
this is an attack on our democracy. The
That's
Justice
exactly what
Department
this
will bring
is, an
every
attack on our
available
democracy.
resource to bear to this investigation. So there again, you have the Attorney General echoing what we have heard from President Biden, from members of his cabinet, from the Vice President, who has also put out a statement this evening to condemn the violence, condemning this violence in the strongest terms possible. We have, of course, Ron was just talking about the fact that this day started with journalists, people who are interested in politics, wondering if this would be the day that former President Trump would announce his pick for the VP nomination. And of course, this was not the day. This turned into a very different
Reagan
day.
was crazy.
But all of those who are
John F.
part of that
Kennedy.
process have weighed in as well to condemn this violence in the strongest terms possible.
Absolutely.
And again, Lester, this is one of those moments where, to some
Yep.
extent, for a brief moment,
Bobby
the
in the,
politics gets put aside.
what was
President
it,
Biden
White House
halting his
kitchen, correct?
campaign
Sirhan
ads.
Sirhan.
The Trump campaign
Sirhan
went
just
into
got out
a
of prison.
virtual lockdown until former President
Love
Trump put
this.
that statement out. But again, every
Love this from Janie. Janie says political differences should not dissolve our unity and justice for Dieter or shared missions to combat corruption. Free Karen Reed. Karen Reed trial. Thank you. Hashtag Karen Reed trial. Thank you. That was very well said. Very well said.
Us again, a former Secret Service agent. If I can continue the conversation we were having with Kristen with you regarding strengthening the security, potentially strengthening the security at the Republican National Committee, I would think there's only so much you can do, considering it was already a high threat environment. What sort of options will the Secret Service have to spread its footprint?
Well, here's the thing. They're going to do more and a lot more. So there is a lot more that can be done. For one, it's not just the U.S. Secret Service that's got the manpower. The majority of the manpower doesn't come from the Secret Service. The majority of the manpower comes from the local police department, the men and women that work locally and for the state. So you're going to see an upscale of the state and the local police entities coming in to secure the RNC. That's where the upscale is going to take place, because they too don't want anything happening on their watch, on their ground.
Yeah.
The U.S. Secret Service and all, it's maybe a couple of thousand agents. It's not a big agency. Yes, are they elite? Are they tactically trained? Absolutely. But in the end,
you're
they
welcome.
work
Thank you.
together and in harmony with all the local
Yeah.
entities. The local departments, the local police, the state police, they're the one who come in with the manpower. And that's what you're going to see. You're probably also going to see a lot of uniforms. And why am I saying this? When you do a security venue, you design your security plan around a lot of different things. One of the things you think about is uniforms. How many uniforms do I want? I want a lot of uniforms. Do you know why? Something as simple as seeing men and women in police uniforms is a massive deterrent. So you're going to see this huge footprint. Now, this is also important because when you have an incident like this, now you have to worry, Lester, about copycats. We don't typically see these incidents, right? Last one we saw really was Reagan. These happened very over decades. We've just had one. So now everybody's concern is somebody else going to get the idea that they can do this? Because what's happened is somebody did this. Another person who has an unhealthy or special interest in one of these protectees is going to say, huh, this guy did it, or gal, we don't know. I think I can do it too. And so now we have to worry about copycats.
Thank you,
Other
Judy.
people
Appreciate
who are
that. Thank
going
you.
to think that they can do this. So you've got this concern.
We'll stay
Now,
a little
going
bit
back to
long
the
and then we're going to
investigative
go.
arm
It's
of
kind
it.
of a repetitive news
You're
cycle
going
now.
to look at, well, the FBI is really going to be the investigative entity here. And this is why some people would presume the Secret Service would be. They are not. By design, FBI comes in. This is kind of a checks and balances system, because let's say, and we're not saying any of this is true, but the Secret Service can't investigate itself. The FBI is going to look at how did this happen? Did all the security measures go into place correctly? If there was a special interest, if there were people of interest that.
Oh, check this out. There's some video of Secret Service on X. Check this out. Look at that.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Whoa. Whoa.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see
That's
something
probably
that
the guy that
said,
took the
take a
shot.
look at what happened.
Watch that
And
again.
you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Wow, it's almost like he saw the shots coming. It almost looks like he faltered. That's very interesting. The shots are coming in, and I saw the barrel of that gun go down like 3 times. That's interesting. Let's watch that again.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
I don't know. It looked like there was a shot that went off. Yeah, maybe he was shooting back. Oh, this is interesting.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So the first, it's interesting. You see his head go up first out of the scope, and then he goes back down and starts to look. And maybe he saw the shots coming. That's very interesting. His head goes up first. Let's play it in slow motion. I'm going to kill the sound so we don't have that. So we'll watch his head. The head comes up first from the scope. There, he looks up. See, he raised his head. He looked up. See how he came up from the scope? Let's go back a little bit. His eye is in the scope here. Now watch. He comes up and looks. Raises his head there. Goes back to the scope quick. Shot fire. Shot fired there. So he did shoot. Because you can see the muzzle flare. All right, let's go back and look again. So he did take a shot. He did take a shot. All right, let's take a look. That is Secret Service. Goes down, looks up from the scope. Up from the scope. Here's the shot. There's the shot. So he did shoot. Wow. 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 All right, let's watch that again. Up. Checks. Back down to the scope. There's the shot. And you see the muzzle flare. So you got one shot off. And then you can see everybody coming in the Secret Service surrounding Trump to protect him. Let's play it in real time again. I think this is real time.
That's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you...
I mean, this is all evidence. This will all become evidence. Yeah, this is Secret Service, not the shooter. I want to make sure that everybody understands that if you're just coming in. This is Secret Service, not the shooter. But this will all become evidence. Wow. That is a very good moment to have that piece of evidence. All right, let's go back here and look again.
Months old, and if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
The guy next to him here is probably another shooter. You can see he has a rifle here. Or a lot of the times, these guys with the larger caliber guns, and I've seen with these long range guns, like I've watched what are the guys that do, is it snipers, like American snipers? They'll have a spotter and they'll have someone that's looking out, and I've seen videos of that. So you have a guy that's a spotter, or you have someone there with a backup rifle. You see the spotter get down when he hears the shots. Let's go back.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look what happened.
He was quick when he got in that gun. Wow. 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 See if I can find any other videos on that's a really great video for evidence. Let's see. There's a closer video. It's two snipers. Can you find it for me, Rogue, and email it to me? It does all happen. It's very fast. Ivanka Trump issues a statement. Dan Bongino reporting. I don't want to play any of that because I know I'll get whacked for it. Okay, there's some photos floating around as the would-be assassin. I don't know how real that is until it's confirmed. I'm just trying to look. So it does say it is looking like that the video of the Secret Service is authentic. That is circling around. Let's see here. There's not a single shot. They have another shooter in custody? What?
Ready, on you. Ready, move. Move. Go. Hawkeye's here. Hawkeye's here. Move it to the stand. Get ready. Get ready. You ready?
I don't hear anything about a second shooter. I don't see anything in the news cycle about a second shooter. So I don't know where you're getting that news from. And this is breaking news like 30 seconds ago. I am not confirming a second shooter at all. That's not correct. It seems right now is a lone shooter, and that shooter has been neutralized. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Look at this. Wow. Look at this. This has been confirmed. Wow. Look at this. Oh, hang on. Let me go to X. Wow. Look at this. Confirmed. Look at the bullet. An incredible photograph by Doug Mills, which literally captured a bullet flying in the air during Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. Wow, look at that. And I know it's hard to see through video right now, but this is incredible. You can, if you can see this online, I'll drop it in the chat. So if you all want to see it. Wow, look at that. I mean, this has never been capped. This is, is very, very historic what's going on. You got to think how much our technology has advanced in the last 20 years. This is something that we would never be able to capture 50 years ago. Wow. Yeah, if he would have turned his head, that's it. Something was definitely looking over former President Trump. I'll drop that in the chat if you all want to see it. Hopefully you can click on the link and you can bring it up and see it yourselves. But wow, unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. I did not think that I was going to do 2 hours on this. Again, I just wanted to get on and report extremely historic news in America today. Like I said before, multiple times through this stream, whatever political spectrum side that you stay on, whatever political spectrum you affiliate yourself with, this should not happen in America. This is not the way that you vote. It is not the proper way to vote. I wouldn't wish this. I don't want to see this happen for former President Trump. I don't want to see this happen for President Joe Biden. I just don't want to see it at all. This is not the way that politics should be. I mean, and I think earlier the reporter that was saying, you know, it's almost like we're a third world country right now, and you know, many things to review. There will be a lot of reporting, a lot of false reporting, a lot of positive reporting and good information out there, and we'll try to sort through it. I don't see myself doing another stream on this and talking about it, but maybe, I don't know, if we come to some type of conclusion, because I know that politics can be very hyperbolic, and that's not really what I want to do in this channel. But I wanted to make sure that we got this news out there for all of you. If you want to watch this content, then please do. If you don't, then just skip the video. You know, I'm not picking sides, political sides here. I just don't want to see this happen in America, and it's a very sad day. And you know, my thoughts and prayers are with anybody that was injured, and my thoughts and prayers are with the person that lost their life today. And that's very sad, because this is just someone out expressing their political freedom, and they didn't, you know, they went to a rally to be with people that they want to surround themselves in their political sphere, and they died as a result of that. And it's very sad. It's very sad. And you know, we don't know. We could have lost a father, a brother, a son. You know, so be it. And it's just a very sad day in America. So I appreciate you all spending the last 2 hours with me. I am going to head out and get some rest. I'm probably going to end up taking tomorrow off. You know, we'll be back next week. And, you know, please keep following the story. It's very important. And it's just a very sad day in America. So thank you all for being here this evening and jumping in. I appreciate all of the support, the super chats, the subscribers, the members. I love all of you. And, you know, we'll be back with some Karen Read information soon as things come out. So I love you all. Thank you for being here. Please take care of yourself. Watch over yourselves, your family, your neighbors. That's why we're all here. We need to rally together right now and be America. It doesn't matter what political side you are on. Drop the politics, rally together. This is for America. And please, you know, keep that the person that lost their life today in your prayers. So thank you all. Have a good night. Have a nice weekend. And, you know, please be safe. Be safe out there. Love you all. Bye-bye.